Hi folks, Chef Pepper again here, and we're going to talk today about how to peel, devein, and cook some shrimp. I have some really nice jumbo shrimp here, and I'm going to show you guys how to peel and devein them easily so that you can prepare them for cooking. You can either fry them, butterfly them, and panko breadcrumb them, bake them, or you can make some scampi or saute them. Today, these are such good quality shrimp from Ecuador that I'm going to just saute them in butter, and I'm going to let you see how easy it is. It's so easy to do. So we're going to go ahead and begin, and we're going to take some of these shrimp. I'm going to show you with 3 of them exactly how to peel and devein them, where to hold them, and where to peel the shell. So you hold that shrimp and you stick your thumb right on the underbelly of the shrimp, and you just one swift motion, the shell comes right off. And then you usually want to leave the tail on for the handle, because when you're eating them, it's easy to just pinch the base of the boot right before the shell, and then when you bite it and pull it, it comes clean out. And if you want to take the tail off, you can, but it's really nice to leave it on for presentation and for handling when your guests or yourselves are eating them. So you do the same thing, one swift motion, that whole shell comes off, and do it again right next to the boot, and we leave that boot on for handling. Now there's actually 2 veins in a shrimp, but there's only one that you want to take out of the shrimp, because that's where all of the digestive tract and the food goes for the shrimp, the things that the shrimp eat. So you can see, if you look real close, there's a vein on the bottom, but that one has nothing in it. That's just color. It's the one on the top that you want to be careful and you want to take out. So this is a knife that we're going to use. And always make sure that your knife is sharp that you use, so that you can cut it easily and you don't hurt yourself. Now, a lot of people, they like to steel their knives upward. If that's the way you're comfortable doing it, I myself, there's a knife guard down here so that you don't go past it and cut yourself. And that's the way that I've learned to do it, and it's really comfortable for me doing it that way. So you take your knife and you don't press too hard just to take the vein out. Now you see, there's the vein. You can run your finger across and the vein stays intact. Then you pull that out. There's your vein that you want to actually discard. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to rub the vein right on. You get a towel or something that you're going to use to take that vein and keep it away from the finished product. There again, see, you take your finger, you rub it so that you open those flaps, and you pull that vein right out. And once you pull that vein out, that shrimp is clean and she's ready to go. I will do it one more time. You don't want to cut too deep unless you're going to butterfly it. You cut down to open up that flap. You go ahead and rub that over there. You open up that flap and you pull out that vein. Now, what I like to do when I'm cooking my shrimp is I like to open it up a little wider to butterfly it. So you run your knife right in that opening that's presented for you. See, that was on the knife. We get rid of that. And you open it up. And once you open it up, you see that now it's butterflied. It's opened up like a book. And that's a beautiful way for you to prepare your shrimp. You can fry them, saute them, any way you like, except for shrimp cocktail. If you're going to do shrimp cocktail, you want to leave them the same way that they were when I first deveined them, like this. This is how you leave them for shrimp cocktail. That's going to be a whole nother video, but this right now, the way that I'm going to saute them in some nice butter, I'm going to do them like this for you. And they don't take that long. So I want to show you guys. So those are already peeled and deveined and butterflied. That's the finished product right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of butter, and we're going to just cut maybe a tablespoon. The markings are right on the side of the butter. For those who have your butter, they usually put the markings down for what a tablespoon is. This is a tablespoon. We're going to turn our fire on, and we're going to put it on medium high for right now, just to melt the butter. The thing about when you're cooking the shrimp, you don't want the butter to get too hot. If the butter starts to turn brown, that's when you know that the flame is too high and it's too late. You're usually going to have to get rid of the butter and start over. So you don't want to, that's why I didn't turn the pan on, at the very beginning, because it's going to take about a minute for the pan to warm up and for it to melt this butter. Once the butter starts to melt, and right before it's completely melted, that's when you can place your shrimp. And the thing about shrimp, I suggest that you make sure you know where you're getting your shrimp from, because there's a lot of places that sell shrimp and they look really good, but then when you cook them, they don't really taste right. They don't have a lot of flavor. These are excellent shrimp. They're called red-tipped shrimp. They're beautiful. They're from Ecuador. If you guys, and these are white shrimp. They're not grays. They're whites. If you look at the bowl, you'll see how just beautiful they are. They have a beautiful red tinge. I mean, they're just absolutely gorgeous. They're super fresh. If you guys can find a purveyor that can sell you shrimp that looks similar to this, or shrimp that are, at least you know they're from a reputable place that runs a clean farm. These are from a place in Ecuador. A friend of mine runs a beautiful farm over there. And so we get these unbelievable shrimp anytime. They're consistently good. So if you look over at the pan now, you see that the butter's starting to melt. So, you know, you just, once a pan starts to get warm, you wait until that butter starts to look a little less cloudy and more solid, but you don't want it to burn at all. I have the fire on medium high right now just to get it going, and as the butter starts to go, you have to watch your butter, because this is a process that it can get away from you if you don't keep an eye on your butter, because like I said, the butter itself isn't going to take long and you don't want it to turn brown. So this is salted butter. You can, if you're not a big salt eater and you're trying to eat with reduced salt, use sweet butter. And I'm actually going to show you how to make your own butter so you can make it as salty or as sweet as you want, and that's going to be in another video. But this is a beautiful guide to watch. You see how the butter is actually starting to melt now, and it's starting to get less cloudy. Right about now, it'll be fine to start laying the shrimp in. And what you want to do when you have your shrimp is you want to lay them down flesh side first. The side that you deveined, you want to lay those down first. So we're going to go ahead and take them one at a time, and we're going to lay them down in our pan, and we're going to lay them down really separate. And I'm going to make it so that you guys can see just every step of the way. This isn't any increased time lapse. This is actual cooking time, so you can see exactly what you are looking for when cooking these shrimp, so you don't overcook them and so that you don't undercook them. One of the biggest keys to look for is when you're cooking shrimp is you want to just make sure that they're solidly cooked all the way through, okay? If you have the tails, see this tail is laying down in the butter, that's a good thing, because if you have the tails standing straight up, then one side's not going to cook when you flip it. So it's good to, like, you know, if you can, make sure these are all standing up nice. When we turn them over, I'm going to turn them to a way so that both sides of the tail can get cooked. But as you guys can see now, we're going to focus in on looking at the outskirts of these shrimp right here. They're already starting to turn pink, and it's only been about 30 seconds. So this is what you want. And the butter's not burning. The butter's just bubbling really nicely. So the pan's getting nice and hot. It's warm right now. But look at how fast the shrimp are cooking. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the shrimp to not, you don't want to overcook it, because the longer you cook the shrimp for after they're already cooked, they're going to become tough and rubbery. And that's the last thing that we want. So you see how there's a nice sizzle right now? Oh, and the smell. I can already smell that cooked shrimp smell. That smells so delicious. That is going to be some really good eating shrimp. Now, by all means, if you want to add a little garlic before you put the shrimp in, and you want to add any of the seasonings that are your favorite seasonings, by all means. But if you get high quality shrimp like this and you want to just get the flavor of the shrimp, then this is how I suggest cooking them. A lot of people don't realize that in the olden days, when ice wasn't readily available, a lot of the seafoods that were on the port, they would start to, deteriorate pretty quick. Within the day of them being caught, they started, and especially the second and the third day with no ice, you can only imagine seafood doesn't stay fresh for long. So that's where they came up with using garlic and shrimp scampi and lemon and heavy spices that kind of take away from any outside tastes or the deteriorating tastes that come from fish that hasn't been preserved on ice. So that's why you get a lot of shrimp dishes and fish dishes that are heavy on garlic and sauces and spices. lemon juice, because that cuts down on bacteria. See how I'm flipping them over so that other side of the tail. Now look guys, it's only been about a minute and a half in the pan, and look at how they look. Now they're almost cooked. They're not quite cooked because I can see in the middle they're still a little translucent, but what a smell. The smell that's coming off of them. And now you see that butter starting to brown a little bit on the side. I turned my flame down. They're almost done, so that's not burnt. That's just brown. So that's nice. And these are pretty much ready to go. Now, you see the centers? The centers are white all the way through. Folks, these shrimp are down. Now we're ready to plate them. I'm going to get a plate right now, and we're going to put these shrimp on a nice platter, and so you guys can see exactly what the finished product looks like. And they're just so beautiful. These are ready to go, folks. This is under 3 minutes. These shrimp are beautiful. They're ready to go right now. We'll take our pan off of our fire. We'll turn our fire off, and we'll put them over here so you guys can take a good look at them. You can garnish them with anything that you want, but those are ready to eat. They smell delicious. They're gonna taste delicious after you let them cool. If you like to sprinkle or spray or squeeze a little lemon on them, sprinkle a little fresh parsley on there to garnish it and make it look really nice and presentable. It's all up to you folks, but these shrimp are ready to eat, and they are absolutely delicious, I can tell you that. I'm gonna go ahead and hand my sister one and see what she thinks. Hey, would you like to try one of these?
Don't have to ask me twice.
And there we go. So, how are they?
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I take that for a really, really good. Well, I'm going to have a couple myself right now. You're not getting any more of these, sis, so enjoy that. Guys, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video.